right after I got off class, I went on ahead and made that. So once again, everybody, I want to say it's a very supportive thing that you're doing to support the class. I want to thank you so much, Hand Built Pottery and Sculpture. And if there's some people online that don't know me, my name is Kimberlie Wright. However, I want you to know that you are supporting yourselves as well by staying active and keeping socializing. I don't know about you, but since everything with the pandemic has been going on, I've been feeling a little bit more, I would say, settled in my heart to be able to communicate, vibe, and create with you all. So please keep up the good work. And do if you as I'm gonna go into going ahead and glaze this particular piece with black. So far, I put deep yellow on here and purple for the Sgraffito method, and now I'm going to put black. So if and while we are doing that, I would suggest if you have any projects as it pertains to the fruit and vegetable vessel, lidded or unlidded, um, the Mobius, our second project, if you have an illustration. And to me, like, even though we have an introduction, I've introduced to you that you can go ahead and start on your DIYs, which would be do-it-yourself projects. We all are pretty much still on our first project because I haven't seen anyone that's completely glazed their first project, which is fine. It's no complaint. I'm just saying that you know this due to the fact that no one has shown their completed project. But also as it pertains in creation, in the creative process, we should be right about at the point of creating our illustrations for our abstract pieces. Don't forget, young people, I've seen some people even turn in an abstract piece, but I never saw their illustration. So please be creative and complete an illustration with your abstract piece and have fun with your do-it-yourself projects. If you have anything to show or share or any questions, please feel free to go ahead with that dialogue.
Yeah, my abstract is a little fragile now, so I'm letting it dry. I handled it a little bit and stood it up and everything.
Uh-huh.
But I found that since we're at home, it's a little different than in the center where we don't have access to touching these pieces. Once we let it give it to you to dry, we're less likely to touch it. We don't touch it. We weren't allowed to go into the kiln room. So if I touch it and break it, I don't want to be responsible. So I just let it sit and dry more.
Well, I've already said that if I'm just encourage you all to show your pieces, but I said if they are fragile at the particular, at home, then definitely don't try to pick it up or show anything because I don't want you to break it. So, no problem.
Okay, Kim.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
I going back to the slip trailing. They're kind of large, but I found these the mustard and ketchup containers at Dollar Tree.
Can you pull it back a little bit? Oh, yes, yes, yes. That's perfect.
They big though.
But that's one thing that I said to you all when it pertains to doing slip trailing. Remember, young people, sorry. when that's one of the techniques or tips to slip trailing. You're gonna have to get used to what slip trailer is best for you. Some people may not be able to squeeze something so large, and because it's large, you might have to only squeeze it a little bit to get the flow that you want. However, I still recommend keeping that. Maybe if somebody bought some that was smaller, you can give them a large one and trade out a small one. But one thing about those two large ones, if you do find that you like a large one, when you create the hole at the tip, you might want to make one a little bit small for smaller trailing and make the other one a little bit larger. So that there'll be two types of slip trail.
Kim,
Yes,
what you said? Glaze what in it is glaze with mixed clay in there.
say that again.
You said glaze is a mixture of clay, different types.
Yes, I said glaze is clay. That's why, you know how sometimes, Mr. Van Dyke, somebody might ask me in class because maybe they don't want to, they're afraid that they don't know what the glaze is gonna look like, and they're trying to finish it real quick, and they say, Kim, can I just take this home and put acrylic on it? I say, yeah, you can paint your pieces with acrylic, but it's not gonna last as long. Let's say if you were to put a piece out in the sun and you had acrylic paint on a bisque piece, the sun is gonna cook away the acrylic or even probably flake it or, you know, that type of thing. But if you are using clay, glaze with clay, glaze is a formulated clay. It's gonna bake right into the material. So therefore, it is the proper thing to use to have something last like a long, long time, which a lot of times in museums, you might not think is that fascinating, some of the simple or really detailed work that you might see. But however, some of these things are so fascinating because of the materials that were used, the craftsmanship people put into it, and how long they have actually lasted. You know, like, you can't use cheap materials and think they're gonna last like millions of years. Like, that ain't happening.
I have a showing of my abstract art and the illustration.
You want to show your, okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, this is my illustration here.
Can you lift it back just a little bit? That's good.
Okay, the circle here, I named it tree. Tree. The little wormy like things, curve like things, or just say the coils,
Right.
simulate the vines of the tree. In the bottom of this here is considered the stump, tree stump of the tree.
Okay.
This is my illustration here of my idea of a tree. The tree here, I have it here.
Be careful.
Okay,
Be careful.
yeah, I got it here. Yeah, this is my tree here. Those the cores around it is considered as the vines. Like I said on my illustration, this is considered the stump here that you see here.
All right.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Like it's not that
just kind of be a little nervous.
Yeah. So this stump here and the little coils is going looping around this top here. Is considered as the tree vines on the tree here of my idea of my tree.
It reminds you of your tree?
Right, my idea of a tree.
In your yard?
My abstract, yes.
Is that ceramic?
That's his project that he's showing us, Mr. Cumberland. That's his clay project that he's showing us.
Yeah, this is my abstract here. The coils is going around here that looks like a T in a sense, but it's not. and made it like a key or whatever. I'm gonna look at it as before I had the coils on it.
Did you say the letter T?
Yes, my idea of a tree.
Okay, T for tree, right?
Right. T for tree. It's a tree. My
I'm
idea.
sorry. The reason why I'm interrupting you to try to clearly ask you questions is because your sound is a little bit choppy.
And you should turn your paper, not your project. The paper turns the project.
You should do what?
That you taught me to turn the newspaper.
Okay, I'm turning the whole tray here.
Thank you, Mr. Theory.
I'm turning the whole tray here.
Oh, I like that side.
Okay, and around it is the coils that represent the tree line.
I like all of that.
Right. So all of this is considered it's a big tree with a big stump with the vines growing around this part here of the tree.
Okay.
That's very good. I like that. It's very unique.
It looks really creative, Mr. Van Dyke. And I can appreciate the fact that it's just kind of like Miss Regina Brantley's project. Her piece really resembled her illustration. So like sometimes I don't even know how y'all, if you gotta do it, if you end up making something first, then draw it afterwards. You know, I don't know, but actually you're supposed to come up with your concept beforehand and then follow that. But however you gotta get to the finished project, everybody does things different. And don't forget that just because I teach you all a certain way to do something, that doesn't mean that you can't amp it up or recreate it your own way, or try to see different types of techniques or whatever you can use and learn from others as well. Everybody got something different to offer.
Kimberlie.
Yes, ma'am.
When I first saw his illustration, I thought he was about to try to match something to go with that breast cancer thing. It kind of looked like this. Like,
are you talking about Mr. Van Dyke?
I'm talking about Mr. Van Dyke, yeah.
Leave him alone.
Looked like he was the male counterpart of the female breast cancer project he made.
Leave him alone.
Well, you know what? I didn't think about that because my mind is not in there. But I just.
He did think about it.
Well, you know, we see different things in art. So.
All right. So right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and show some people the best thing to do as it pertains to adding this color. As you can see, piece looks like it has dried more. And right here, if you can see this fan brush, even though it has, when you are doing this type of Sgraffito work, you would want natural fiber bristles. But however, this fan brush, it has natural fiber bristles, but they're kind of stiff. And at this particular point, I definitely don't want to rub across my piece with this stiff type of fan brush and scratch up what I've already done. So I'm going to use something that's really much softer. And one particular brush would be these two brushes. They're kind of called mop brushes, M-O-P, mop brushes. And so what I'm going to do is just probably get my paper towel ready. I'm going to.
Okay, one question, Kim. Did you paint it underside the yellow and the purple?
Say that one more time.
Did you paint the under the yellow and purple?
Did I paint under it?
Yeah.
Let's see if it's dry enough that I can pick it up. No, I haven't painted under it, period.
Okay.
I plan on doing something with that afterwards. I said if I keep turning this over, back and forth, trying to paint the bottom and paint the top before I get ready for my class, I won't never be ready. Because I would have to wait till the bottom dry, wait till the top dry. But with this particular piece right here, you see when I pick it up, it kind of changes its shape because it's really soft. I have to actually, I painted this one under the bottom,
Okay.
but I'm gonna have to wait till that dries more because the actual shape is changing. The reason, if that happens to you, you wanna pretty much leave it alone. Because the reason why the shape is changing, that means it probably wasn't leathered hard enough that you will be ready to work with it.
Okay, I guess my real question is, should we paint it, or it depends on the person, or what?
With the bottom,
Yes. After,
if you have really small, delicate pieces like this, I say go ahead and paint the bottom. But you know, with some pieces, I always tell you, don't waste glaze painting the bottoms of pieces.
right.
Yeah, it just depends on what it is, but you can always ask me just to make sure you have clarification.
Okay.
So even though I'm picking this up out of this bath of water, and it's gonna have water, you see it's dripping all out of the brush. I'm gonna use that just to stir into my glaze for the first time because this stuff is not even running. It's moving like cake icing or something. So I wanna just like make sure I prepare my glaze first and actually stir it because that water that I put in there probably just gonna settle in one spot. So you wanna make sure to mix it well. And all you have to do is I like to put a few dollops on the piece so that you're not just putting a little bit and scraping the last color up. And I'm putting about enough that I know is gonna spread on top of my piece, so to speak. So from there, I'm just gonna take some glaze and start to go left and right across the piece. It doesn't even take that long to paint if you go ahead and do the proper things that you need to do. Sometimes, even though I know y'all having fun and socializing, I be like, why in the world it take them all day to paint? Like, I just don't understand that. It's like certain technique. You go ahead and do it, you're done. And then, although I'm brushing, you have to lift the pressure up really lightly so that you are skimming across the paint so as to not put paint lines. If you see any chunks, just go ahead and wipe that up. And I don't know if you can see that.
It's okay the way it was.
What you mean it was okay the way it was with the purple?
Yeah, I could see it this time without you moving.
Oh, you're talking about without the me moving it. No problem, baby. I just making sure.
Is that like a Japanese etching also, Kim, in terms of revealing the colors underneath, or is that just a different technique?
I mean, you know, if you have Japanese etching, I'm sure they call it something else. But this particular, you know, like, I'm not gonna say everything came from Africa, right, per se. But so y'all see, I did the edges.
Yes.
And basically what I'm doing is just letting that dry. So I don't even know if I can resist waiting until all the way to next week to do the actual design on that piece in class, but I guess I have to.
Thank you.
So anyway.
You have to show us how to do it.
I know, yeah.
You have to show us how to do it.
Yeah.
You can't skip.
I'm definitely going to show you on both of the pieces. But this particular piece, I would not be painting black today because it is really soft. When I pick it up, the shape changes again. So the word Sgraffito originates in what culture? Or what place?
It sounds Italian.
Mexico.
I told y'all that yesterday.
Egyptian.
Italian, Italy.
Italy, thank you. Sgraffito is an Italian thing. However, if you look up Sgraffito, they're gonna show you probably like, if you look it up on Wikipedia, they're gonna start showing you some Italian buildings that had all these different beautiful carvings and stuff like that. But Sgraffito, to me, however you can take it how you want to, people in Egypt used clay, the limestone and different clays to build things, and they always inscribed images into their buildings and tablets and that type of thing. So sometimes, like they say, the saying that is said, there's nothing new under the sun. If somebody as old as the knowledge or the ancient sea of Egypt, people were doing that type of thing, I just feel like if it happened 1,000 something years later in some type of other form, maybe somebody got an idea from somebody else, but they tweaked it. You know, like they wasn't the first people who carved into clay, the Italians, but they coined that particular term, sgraffito. Maybe it had something to do with the fact that you're scratching into leather hard clay with underglaze. You know, like somebody else might have been scratching into limestone with hot water, but I don't feel like the process is just like, I guess you can just say that it's sort of like yoga. Yoga was, it originated in Egypt. You know, you see them Egyptians doing all these type of things and with the figures. However, it was heavily developed in India. Like anytime you hear about yoga, you're gonna think that it came from India because of the Indian culture or people really developed it. So sometimes even words, everything has an origin. I guess some people like to research those type of things, but if you find out about Cumberland has an origin. So you will be looking back, keep on going back to the first person who he came from. But however, you're probably gonna find that we all are related and connected in some form or fashion. All right, I hope that answers your question. Any more questions about the Sgraffito? Please look up the word Sgraffito. I'm gonna put it in this chat right now so that you all will know how to spell what you're actually looking up. Sgraffito. I put the word into the chat.
Yes.
Sorry.
Spelled it wrong.
I know. Sorry, omit one of the T's. Sorry. Sgraffito.
Thank you.
Did it happen?
Word up.
That was funny. Yeah. So don't forget, young people, if you look online in your emails, yesterday we had a breast cancer event where they did all kind of healthy type of things for breast cancer, games, and made a lot of breast cancer dishes or whatever, desserts and that type of thing. So we have a harvest festival coming up where we're going to be wearing costume and basically doing our annual pumpkin carving contest. If you all look in your email, you'll see flyers for that.
Kim, I won a gift yesterday during the breast cancer.
What did you win?
I don't know. They're gonna send it to me in the mail.
Okay, and you had a question that you had to answer?
We had questions about scrambled words we had to look and see real quick before someone else called it out. Breast cancer awareness words like pink month. They scrambled all the letters up. So it was wonderful. It was fun.
Yeah, that was really cool. But I didn't see that portion. I only chimed in when
because you were in your class.
I was in my class.
Your class later.
Sometimes the classes overlap. However, don't forget that you are committed to taking this pottery class. I love you all for it. And you are more than welcome to take anybody's classes on the schedule. Please look for different classes. Don't forget that people who want to learn more about Zoom, Antron Morgan has a Zoom class, I want to say on Tuesdays at 11:30, and even the instructors take his class. It's tips and tools about how to use Zoom and YouTube if you need more help. I find them helpful because he allows you to ask any question you want and give you the answer, and even probably helps you do it while you're online. But that's one thing. But I wanted to let you all know, if you're needing some type of assistance or help staying fit, don't forget that your teacher right here, Kimberlie Wright, teaches yoga on Mondays, every Monday, except for if it's a holiday, 10:30 to 11. I also teach, if you've taken my class at the Darnell facility, making something out of nothing. That class is on Tuesdays at Darnell, and it's still on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. That's my only class that's at 10 a.m. However, every other day of the week, my classes are at 10:30. Wednesday, I teach a class called Word Up. It's about poetry, short stories, and spoken word. So that's Wednesdays at 10:30 if you like to write, or if you want to hear some really profound poetry from different people. And on Thursdays and Fridays, I'm with you all, my family, my beautiful class of my largest classes of Pottery, people who don't get on my nerves, on Thursdays and Fridays. Why you looking like that, Miss Gwen? Oh, y'all something else, but I just want to say that Miss Tara Sparkman is a blessing too, because I just really did not even conceive of how we possibly could have been able to even have this class on Zoom, not in the classroom. But Miss Tara Sparkman is the person who encouraged me and kind of gave me the go ahead on certain things that would make me be able to have the class. And I would not be able to do it without you all. So thank you so much. And I'll let y'all see this piece one more time before we go, but I'm gonna do the actual demonstration next week. I'll wait because it's almost dry, but not even quite. It still has like a sheen to it. So whenever it completely dries, I'm just gonna save it till next week for you all and do a complete demonstration. And hopefully next week you all will have some more projects to share and show with everybody. And usually before my class, Buffy Maletta Clayton, the fitness teacher at Darnell, always has fitness classes. And after my classes, I'm always chiming in on to Destiny's classes. She's always cooking delicious food and treats. So that's where I'm going to be headed now. I love you all. If you don't have any more questions, thank you so much. Have a wonderful and blessed day. Thank you for joining Hand-Built Pottery and Sculpture with Kimberlie Wright.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Don't forget to vote.
Weekend.
Don't forget,
Don't forget to vote.
Thank you, Kathy.
Vote.
Vicky, where did you vote? You said it was 15 minutes.
Say that
Don't forget to vote.
I said, vote. Vicky, where did you vote? You said it took only 15
Voted
minutes.
at Perry Boulevard and Hollywood Road, the regional library right on the corner.
But I thought y'all had to vote at y'all particular.
If you're in Fulton County, you can vote just about anywhere.
That's
You
true.
don't have to be inside your own regular voting precinct.
Okay, that's good to know.
But that's only for early voting, though.
Yeah, early voting.
On
You can
November
go to
3rd,
regular
you have
voting.
to.
Oh, November 3rd,
November.
you have to vote at your polls.
That's what I'm doing now. I'm working the polls.
Y'all so knowledgeable and intelligent. Thank y'all for all this good information.
And let me share that at the Phillips Arena, they told me a friend of mine voted there last
C.T.
night.
Martin.
Free parking, and you're in and out. He said he was in and out in 10 minutes.
Yes, that's where we were at.
C.T. Martin.
What?
What you say, Mr. Cumberland?
He said C.T. Martin.
Oh,
Yeah.
C.T. Martin.
Yeah, there was a line at C.T. Martin.
Yeah.
Around the corner,
There's
yeah.
not a
yesterday.
line up here now. I'm up here. I'm working the.
Okay.
Thank you.
The line was basically the first day and what they're showing on the news. But don't believe it. Go out yourself and stay distant, stay masked up, be safe. And the poll workers are very wonderful right now.
We thank you so much. Yes.
Thank y'all. Have a wonderful and blessed day.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.